Hello, Uganda. Good evening and welcome to this edition of the Hotseat on 933 KFM. I welcome you, our listeners across this beautiful land, the part of Africa. My name is Patrick Kamara. Tonight, we address the challenges faced by our colleagues in northern Uganda because of the Karuma bridge closure. They've had to divert from Karuma to go through the national park, but that wouldn't have been a problem. The problem is they've been made to pay more money, even when they have no access to go to their homes, to go to their businesses, or people just to transit through to go to southern Sudan and other parts of Africa. So my guests this evening, those who have made it in the studio tonight on time, I have the Kilaka South Member of Parliament, the Honorable Gilbert Olanya. Thank you so much for joining us, Honorable.
Thank you so much, Kamara. Greetings, everyone listening to KFM. My name is Gilbert Olanya, the Member of Parliament from Kilaka South in Amur District, Northern Uganda, Acholi Sub-Region. I greet you all.
Thank you so much, Honorable Olanya, for joining us. We have the Secretary General, Uganda Bus Owners Association, Mr. Robert Mutebi. Robert, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Patrick, and good evening, fellow Ugandans, and we are ready to present.
And just joining us right now, we have the Woman Member of Parliament for Terego District, the Honorable Rose Obiga. Thank you so much for joining us, Rose. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm grateful to be on KFM.
Thank you for making it. As you take your breath, let me begin with the Honorable Gilbert. You've just taken the steps up here on fourth floor. And so you represent the people of Clark. Perhaps you've just been to your home. There's then a problem accessing home because they are trying to rehabilitate Karuma Bridge. However, I understand you're being made to pay more money to go through the national park. There's a problem with that because you're paying money, yet they haven't given you an alternative. I can understand that. But what are your people telling you, and how are you addressing this issue?
Patrick Kamara, our people are confused. At first, we were confused by the Ministry of Works and UNRWA. I recall in May, the director UNRWA went with the team and said the Karuma Bridge was closed for heavy vehicles, buses, trailers. That was in May. In July, Minister Musa Eshwero went again and also closed and said within 3 months, everything would have been done. We waited. And in September, Minister Katumba Wamala went again and made a pronouncement that within 3 months, Karuma would be totally closed. Now we ask the minister, which 3 months should we respect now? Right from May, all of them are talk of 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. Now that we respect it, Karuma was totally shut down. Transport were diverted. And when the minister made the pronouncement that all vehicles from northern Uganda would pass from Pakwach, and then there are two routes. One from after Pakwach, you go to Bulisa, Oima, then you proceed to Kampala. And the straight route that passes from Pakwach to Masindi, that road, the minister in charge of tourism said that road must be paid for. They cannot give it free of charge. So
Honorable Gilbert, you're telling us there are two roads in the national park, right?
Exactly, yes.
And one is free and one is not free.
Yes, exactly.
So you have an alternative.
And there and that passes from Bulisa to Oima is extremely far. That's almost double the distance. Look at the cost of fuel. Time you take is extremely far. But at least the fairer distance is the one that passes from Karuma to Masindi, where the minister said that road must be paid for. Then on Wednesday, when they made the pronouncement, that was on Monday, buses started paying for. All buses using that road. The bus, for bus alone, you pay 210,000, and all the passengers in the bus, you pay 25,000.
Every individual? Every passenger?
Exactly. Taxis, all vehicle passing, taxis and the small cars like the one we drive, we are paying 40,000.
But Honorable,
and all the occupants,
you understand there is a problem with Karuma Bridge, and you understand that they are working on it. So you can also understand and bear with the government or whoever is working on the road. The delays and the long distances should be understandable from your side because they have also given you an alternative.
Yes, that's why I'm saying we have no problem by working on the Karuma Bridge. So we say the minister, let us follow the 3 months you made the pronouncement. Go on with your work. All vehicles were diverted, and we started moving smoothly. The issue now is the payment. Until last Wednesday, when we raised on the floor of Parliament, we informed Parliament that buses, all vehicles accessing that road should not pay. The payment should be waived off, because we did not ask the government that we want to pass there just for leisure, on conditions that is forcing us to pass from there. And then when we made the presentation on the floor of Parliament, the minister came up with another directive. The minister said, let the buses and the big trucks pass for free.
Okay, let me come to
all other vehicles.
Let me go to the bus owners, and we have the Secretary General here, Uganda Bus Owners Association, Robert Mutebi. What is your pain in accessing northern Uganda and beyond?
Our pain is the time and inconvenience. Our pain is the losses. Our pain is the inconvenience. Distances are now twice the journey. Passengers have run away. They now travel for, it has to be an emergency. It's no longer about, let me go to the village on the weekend and see my parents. It's no longer about, cargo is not moving as usual. A journey that used to take 5 hours is taking 10 hours. We have people going...
But Mr. Mutebi, this problem is not intentional that they want to inconvenience you. There is a rehabilitation going on the main bridge of Karuma.
We appreciate
and
that.
even through the national park, they have given an alternative, one for pay and one for free. That's not like you do not have any alternative whatsoever.
We appreciate that. But these ferries are not working to full capacity. The ferry takes 2 buses and 3 vehicles. The new one, they say that is big enough, takes only 2 buses. Right now, I have passengers stuck, sleeping over, because the ferry stops at 7 p.m. And even the park, accessing Maxon Park, also closes at 6. So you have to leave Kampala. If you have to access the park, you have to leave by 11:30, because they close at 6. If you have to access the ferry, you have to leave even at 1:30. By 1:30, you should be leaving Kampala, considering the traffic.
After that, you will sleep on the bridge just before the.
Now, if you have
on
managed,
the bank of the Nile.
Yes. Now, if you manage to get to the park gate by that time, you get through. But then you have to move 40 kilometers per hour in the park. I've had emergencies in the park where people are sleeping in the park when the bus breaks down. Every vehicle breaks down.
That's dangerous.
Very dangerous. People are telling you are seeing lions roaming all over us. So we are, yes, we Ugandans, and we inconvenience, and we understand that Karuma is shut down and is being rehabilitated. But can we have the best alternatives?
Okay, let me come to the Terego woman member of parliament, the Honorable Rose Obiga. You know, I like your energy, by the way. So when you're representing your people,
I've also been looking for an opportunity to appear with you. You know.
So Rose, what is it that you want government to do in the circumstance prevailing as of now?
Or what has not come out clearly? One, there is an extra money put by the buses on the passengers as they are using the Blissa route. Yet, you know, West Nile, northern Uganda, has been in wars. They are the second poorest to Karamoja.
We are all poor.
You know, we are the 3rd largest population in this country. And you know, our cash crop was tobacco. As tobacco has been phased off, we actually have nothing.
No, absolutely.
And 2, this is our peak season. This is when our people make money. And our buses move throughout the day and throughout the night. Now, what our businessmen and women do, they come in the morning, buy whatever goods they want to buy, leave in the night. But now they have to pay for another lodge fee because this route closes early. 2, I've lost 8 patients.
Oh, no.
We cannot evacuate emergencies from West Nile. You see, our roads, when somebody complains of potholes in Kampala, I actually laugh. Because what I have now in West Nile are called car holes. They have been there permanent and pensionable. Nobody cares. Our roads have stayed over 20 plus years without any single touch. Now, they are working on these roads. Our vehicles break. When I live here, I don't even reach Arua. I need to do something on my car. I reach there, it must completely go to garage. If you see, most of us have 3-4 vehicles, not for fun. So this kind of inconvenience, there is no route that we can use 24 hours.
Honorable Biga, just hold on to your point there. Why? Because I have now online the communications manager, Uganda Wildlife Authority, Mr. Bashir Hangi. Can you hear me, Mr. Bashir?
Yes, I can hear you, and good evening.
Okay. I'm sure you've also had the colleagues in the studio here, and you've had their pain. And you speak for Wildlife Authority. Why are you putting such pain on our brothers and sisters in northern Uganda and West Nile?
Thank you very much. First of all, I greet the honorable members and all the people who are listening to FM this evening. First of all, let me first correct this impression that is being created that we are putting a strain on our brothers and sisters from the north and, of course, West Nile. That's not true. We're operating in a situation that is normal, but rather that is abnormal. And under abnormal circumstances, abnormal things happen. None of us really wanted to see the closure of Karuma Bridge because it was really helping us. All of us were using that road. And it's unfortunate that people now have to take longer routes to reach Kampala or to go back to the north or West Nile for that matter. But let me address myself to the issues that relate to how we are managing traffic in the park, because I think this has been a bone of contention, especially in respect to the money that people have to pay and the conditions they are in. One thing is for sure, after the closure, when we had the partial closure, we allowed all the vehicles, the heavy trucks and buses to go through the park. Now, when we had the full closure, we again allowed the buses to use Kishumba, because there are two routes that we are talking about here. One of the routes is the Kishumba Nyobo to Tangi and back. And then the other route is the Tangi Mugungu, where we have to go through Bulisa. And we have said that for Tangi Mugungu, we leave it free. Whoever wants to use it, they don't have to pay. And why are we saying that? When you are going through Tangi to Mugungu, you only do 32 kilometers inside the park. And when we are doing the Chumbanyubo Tangi, you are doing 85 kilometers inside the park. There is no park in this country where you cross it through 30 kilometers. So the 30 kilometers we're talking about are the other side of Mugungu, and the 85 if you are using Chumbanyubo. So, and the intention is very simple. One, wanted also to free Chumbanyubo specifically because we have a high concentration of tourism activities at that site. We have a high concentration of animals in terms of game. And experience shows that we've had very bad cases of accidents. People have lost lives, especially at the escarpment. But also, on average, we've registered between 3 and 5 animal kills on a daily. And then we've registered the 300 traffic offenders or cases, for that matter, in a week. So that comes to around 42 maybe per day. And of course, now when you talk about the litter, it gets even too much, because we have to collect a litter over a distance of 85 kilometers if someone is using Tangi, because for sure, we Ugandans, I think we haven't fully embraced the idea of properly managing litter. So we still litter, and as such, we cannot say that people not litter, but we really have to come in and manage to ensure the integrity of the park is not so much compromised. So we said, let's offer an alternative route. And this alternative route I'm talking about, it gives an additional 28 kilometers if someone is traveling to Kampala. The additional distance that we have to cover is around 28 kilometers. So, and of course, the other rules we have, of course, we don't want people to drive in the park at night for their own safety and also for the safety of our animals. It is very important that people observe these times. And of course, the other rules of non-looting, those ones I don't think are a problem. But I think
okay, okay, Bashir, you've made a case, and my guests in the studio, the two members of Parliament and the Bus Owners Association representative here, have listened to you keenly, and I'm sure they are going to respond. But in the time being, we're going to take a break. When we come back, let them also be able to respond to you on the submission you've just made. Welcome back to 933 KFM, and this is the Hot Seat. My name is Patrick Amara. My guest this evening, I have Honorable Rose Obiga, Woman Member of Parliament for Terego District. I have Honorable Gilbert Olanya, Kilak South Member of Parliament. I have the Secretary General of Uganda Bus Owners Association, Robert Mutebi. And joining us online is the Communications Manager, Uganda Wildlife Authority, Bashir Hangi. We're discussing Karuma Bridge closure, concerns raised over travel, tourism, and conservation. Before we took a break, Bashir had made a submission, and Rose, would you want to respond?
Thank you. I just want to say a few things to the communications officer. One, your communication is not to animals, it's to human beings. And it will be good for a communications officer to be human. You are preferring animals to human beings. You are not fair in anything you have said this evening, and it's very embarrassing. You are saying that the buses, the people traveling in the buses will litter the national park. We travel a distance. We have been traveling since May. These buses have been coming through the national park. Where is the litter? And two, the bus owners can be charged and say, please have buckets. We have buckets in the buses that go to our region. Sure. That is how they can keep their litter. Three, when we said there was corona in this country, and said stop greeting. It's our culture to greet. But because they said there was a problem, people stopped. And how difficult is it for Ugandans to stop littering? This is a lame excuse. It was so annoying when the state minister Magara on Monday said, allowing people to pass there freely means the people will be defecating in the national park, they'll be littering. A shameless minister. If it was that easy, how did he lose elections? If he thinks people do not matter, I think his attitude of not prioritizing...
So, but on a normal road, has government provided facilities where people can ease themselves?
That is what he's saying. Yet for us, when we travel...
I have not seen any facilities provided by government on any highway.
He is undermining the people of West Nile. This country boasts of hosting over 1.6 million refugees. Over 1 million refugees are found in West Nile. The resources that we bring as West Nile have been used by this country. And what we get as a thank you is an insult on our face.
But he talks about the alternative route.
That alternative route comes through the national park too. The Masindi Port.
And which is free.
It stops by 6. By 6, it stops. Now, our patients cannot move. They cannot be evacuated. Remember, I told you, our roads have car holes. Every other minute, people are getting accidents. We do not have MRI scans. We do not have CT scans operating. We got a CT scan, but personnel was not deployed.
All right,
so all this has to come to Kampala. I want this guy, he must stop this.
Honorable Gilbert, your take on this.
Mr. Bassi, you should know that the Bible says the animals, the trees, is to make the life of man easy. Therefore, as a country, we shouldn't value animals to human beings. Human being first, animals second. So the statement that you are making, it shows that as OA, you are valuing animals to human being, not knowing that it's the work of the human being to take care of those animals. And the claims that is saying we are littering, people may be hooting, heavy traffic, I think that is baseless. That is baseless. And then what is the role of the game rangers? If people are littering, game rangers are employed, and many of them are redundant. You deploy them, let them be along the roadside, and they monitor what is going on. If they find any litter, any bottle drop on the way, let them pick it. That is the role. You know, abnormal situation calls for abnormal activities. We do not apply.
It's also telling you that those are abnormal situations that are upon them.
Exactly. Exactly.
But why don't you bear with him? Because this is an abnormal situation as well. And that's what he's saying.
Let the OR peoples consider. Because now we don't have any other route. Northern Uganda does not have any other route. If you try to pass via Masindi Port
to Apache,
that is terrible. You wait for more than 7 hours for the ferry to come and pick you. And
actually, it's 11 hours. Exactly. You sleep over.
So now, there are so many people who are sleeping there.
So are you saying some desperate people have resorted to go through Jinja, through Dokolo, Soroti Dokolo?
Exactly.
Which
is extremely far. So right now, people are taking more than 10 hours, 15 hours from the north coming to Kampala. So let Bassi really consider the plight of the people of northern Uganda. And in case they fail to respect, I think as leaders from northern Uganda, we shall mobilize our people, let the government transfer away the animals from the Mission Falls. So that we remain free.
How is this impacting on the business of transport, Robert? Because you speak for the bus owners.
These times remind us of COVID. COVID was the worst we've ever gone through as bus owners. But right now it's reminiscent of the COVID times. We are not even operating at half capacity. We are suffering losses. Companies that used to ply 7 buses a day are plying 2 or 1 buses. But we get these buses from banks. They're on a loan. The bank, even during COVID, could not halt the interest. For all the 4 months we were parked, the banks couldn't negotiate. Right now, it's the same thing that is happening to us. Loans are piling up, interest is piling up, the tires are getting worn out. If a vehicle doesn't move even for 2 days, you know, this is a vehicle that is supposed to run every day. Now you have to park. We have buses, companies with over 10 buses. You move 2, 8 are parked. Loans are accumulating. Passengers are not there. Even when you try to move, you're still encumbered. We are actually scared now. The season is coming up. We have what we call a peak season in our transport. December is coming up. January, the kids are about to break up. Then January, they go back. How is this going to be manageable? Can we look inner and outer?
Okay. So, Mr. Bashir Hangi, I suppose you've been listening to the people here. You don't have a very happy group of people in my studio this evening, and I can feel the pain in their words and even how they express themselves. Yes, how do you respond?
Thank you very much. I cannot see, but I can hear the pain from our leaders, and I really appreciate their pain. I mean, this is something that is abnormal. But I would like to suggest that we look at these things critically. When you say that, well, personally, I'm not saying that people will litter because they are already littering. I'm not saying they will. They are doing it, I mean. And this is not about people in the north. And we should not make a mistake of giving the impression that it's only people from the north that are using that road. People from all different parts of the country use that road, going to the north, going to West Nile, and back.
But if you may hold there, you know, if you're traveling from Rubirizi to Kasese, you'll go through Queen Elizabeth National Park, through all that place, Kikongoro and whatever, Kazinga Channel. That's a park. Lekimburo, there's a road going. That's a national park, and so is Semuliki Valley.
I'm going to address all that. There's a wrong impression that there's a road that goes through Lekimburo, which is not true. There's no road that crosses Lekimburo. Lekimburo is 8 kilometers from the road from Barara Masaka Road. Now, if you have time, I can take you through the history of why you have a road that crosses through Queen Elizabeth National Park. It's a road that was opened even before the park was gazetted. The same applies to the road that goes through to Semuliki and Chenjoy and Chibari. These roads were there for trade before these parks were gazetted. And history is there to tell. I'm not cooking up anything. These are facts. These are historical facts. You can read about them and realize that actually these parks were gazetted much, much later when the roads were there and were public roads.
So that one is, let me hope that is okay. But if people are able to go through that park and perhaps they are not littering, or how you manage the enforcement for people not to litter, the same thing can apply without people paying money.
Because the roads were there, the animals had already run away. There was no possibility. Up to now, if you go to through the roads, you may even not see a single animal. There are no animals. Here we are talking about an area that is a hotspot for tourism activities. And this is a road that was opened by the game department as an in-park track to facilitate tourism and administration within the park. This road was never a public road when it was being opened by the game department at that time. It was a tourism track, and even we had a ferry, if you recall, to make sure that the tourists who visit this park are able to access the north and the southern bank of the Nile. Okay, that's why you see the position of the gate is different from other gates, because this gate was there to control access to the park, because the road was already public road. If you look at Queen, it is far away from the main, because the main road is a gazetted public road. This is a completely different situation. However, we are saying, even if it is not a public road, rather, even if it is a tourism track, because I mean, all this came after it was improved to all weather, of course, facilitated tourism inside the park and also the extraction of oil and gas, minerals. But even if that happened, we are saying we have provided an alternative route to our brothers and sisters. And let's look at it from this example. You have an 85 kilometer stretch. You are driving at 40 kilometers per hour, and then you have a 30 kilometer stretch where you are driving at 40 kilometers per hour. And after that, you can fire as fast as you want. Which is the better route would you like to use? To get me? So if you use 30 kilometers inside the park, driving at 40 kilometers per hour, you'll get out of the park very fast and drive 80, 100, But here you have to drive 85 kilometers and at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour. So the issue here is the 28 additional kilometers that are being a problem. I don't see any other thing big. And maybe the issue of regulation in terms of time, that is a crucial one. And of course, we did it out of safety, as a matter of fact, because we know if you are going to use the Kichumbanyogo, where you have a high concentration of animals, and most of these animals come out in the night, the elephants, the lions, the hippos, and the buffaloes. Someone said that a bus broke down in the park and they were seeing lions there. We do not want that to happen to our people. First of all, these animals themselves can be a danger to human life. But also the vehicles, like I've said, we've registered an average of 3 to 5 road kills a day. What about if it was at night? I think we'd be losing so many animals. So the issue here is not that we are giving priority to animals than human beings. That's completely untrue. But remember, we have a role to play. And if all of us, we are conserving not for ourselves, but for all Ugandans.
Okay, Honorable Bigger, very quickly, how do you respond?
See, this Bashir man has a problem. I think he has lived all his life with animals. He doesn't value human being. I even wonder whether he has children, he has a family. This is a man who has now decided to get married and live his life with animals. Because I don't see sense in a man. By the way, in the Bible, a man takes care of children and women. But for you, Bashir, to stick to your point, I hear animals tourism time, lions and elephants. For who? First of all, I want to put you to order. On Tuesday, it was on our order paper to present audit reports about you. You are spending money at source. You are stealing this money you are collecting from Ugandans. You are a shameless he-goat. Honestly, you are eating this money. Corruption is leading in war.
That's below the belt now.
Really?
I'm going to take a break.
Who does he think he is?
Welcome back to 933 KFM, and this is the Hot Seat. My name is Patrick Kamara, and my guest this evening, I have Honorable Gilbert Olanya, I have Mr. Robert Mutebi, and I also have the Honorable Rose Obiga, and we're discussing the closure of Karuma Bridge. So you've heard from Bashir. He has also heard from you. Of course, Rose is very angry, but I can understand why. Probably let me bring in Bashir quickly, then I can come back to you, Gilbert and Robert. Bashir.
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you have listened to the pain in the voice of the Honorable Bigger. How do you respond?
First of all, I want to request that we be a bit civil.
We are very civil.
Matters, kindly, honorable, request to behave in a honorable manner. Here we are discussing matters that are important, matters that affect our country, and want to see how we can get the best out of this. The issue is not about someone being a thief or a he-goat, but rather being able to articulate issues on their own merit. Like I say, we have a free road where people don't have to pay even a coin. All motorists are free to use this road, and they don't pay any coin. Now, why have we said that if you want to use Kichumbanyogo, pay a fee? Because we have dedicated the Kichumbanyogo gate to tourists. By the way, if you go there, you will realize, you would see before actually we stopped all the vehicles, you would see how tourists were struggling to get to the gate. Because you find that a tourist is behind like 150 vehicles, but this is a person who came, he has a schedule, he has a time spent in the country and go away. Now, that becomes a big issue. We say, let us dedicate this to tourists. First of all, they are paying, but for these small vehicles that want to pass through, they could as well pay an entrance fee and go through. And by the way, this measure only affects small vehicles that want to pass through.
But they are also saying the schedule, sometimes you have to reach it at a certain time, so there's that inconvenience. So you have an emergency, a patient you want to evacuate, you may not be able to do it quickly.
That's not true. We've had emergencies, we've had to mobilize our own troops to make sure that we are there to protect them and see what can be done.
What protection are you talking about? They want access to move, not protection. They just want to move. And sometimes you cannot, at some times you cannot be able to move. That's what the complaint is.
Absolutely. That's the fact. That's why we are saying we are managing traffic. It means that at a particular time we close the park gate. okay? At a particular time, we close the park gates, and we have always advised people to schedule their movements to ensure that they are not caught up in the night, inside the park. It is purely out of safety reasons. We do not have any other reason why. And when I'm talking about safety, I want members to understand me. This is not about only the safety of animals, but also the safety of persons. You know what has happened? By the way, you see this park. The road through Karuma also goes through a park. And I'm sure members know the accidents that we've been having the other side. So, and we don't have a high concentration of animals the other side. So you can imagine here where we have a high concentration of animals. We don't want people to have challenges in the park. Animals knocking vehicles, rather vehicles running over animals. That's why we are saying.
There's a precedent of trying to work on bridges. The government has even suffered with the Katonga, which is not technically challenging, I can imagine, like Karuma, and up to now Katonga is not done. They did something that is not complete. Are we even sure that in 3 months you'll be able to manage a technically challenging bridge on Karuma when you have failed as government to work on Katonga? And also, do you care about the bus owners, the businesses that have taken loans from the banks, and now the business have gone down? Before they know it, they will be out of business. And they're telling you, they're crying, our buses are packed because people can't move. Have you listened to the cries of Mr. Mutebi, Robert?
Yeah, of course, I cannot speak on behalf of my colleagues at UNRWA. I don't know how long it will take them to manage the bridge to have it fixed. I'm talking about management of traffic inside the National Falls National Park. So what happens outside the park, for sure, that I may not be the best person to give an explanation.
Let me also bring back Mr. Robert Mutebi here to tell you more about what they are going through at the moment.
What's perturbing, Mr. Kamara, is I'm running out of words.
You're taking more fuel, I can imagine, and taking long on the road.
Is it animals versus the people? Where's our priority as Ugandans? Do you favor the animals to move freely vis-a-vis the people? What about the losses us as investors are making? How long is this going to be?
He just said he saw a tourist on a line of about 150 people and stood behind there.
Is it the tourist or the local Ugandan that comes? Who comes first? And when we are moving, who comes first? You're telling me about tourists, you're telling me about
the money
animals.
they are bringing is also money to develop Uganda's economy.
Oh, and I've moved people for the last 30 years since Uganda Transport Company closed, and I'm no longer a priority. Can we try to understand that it's an emergency and work together for the next... I don't think it will be 3 months before that.
Also, to be fair, gentlemen and honorable lady, is that there is an alternative. This is what Bashir is telling you. Really. That there's an alternative that is free. Actually, according to him, that's even shorter.
Just to put the matter straight, even that alternative passes through the park.
Yes.
And they also close it at 7. That same alternative is talking about. So this is the peak time. Businesses, our trucks, buses normally move the whole night. Even that so-called alternative, they close at 7.
Okay, but Bashir, how do you respond about the time of closure?
Yes.
So, open our gates at 7 a.m., close them at 7 p.m. That's a fact, and that's what we keep advising folks. You see, we all agree that these are abnormal situations, and we have abnormal interventions. Therefore, the planning also has to be done. And this is not being insensitive in any way. I want to honorable members to understand me. I'm not being insensitive, but I'm being
very insensitive.
Because if someone comes and says that if you don't want, then take away the park. Now you start wondering, really. Or if someone asks you that you is a tourist, against Ugandans, you start wondering where you're going. If these are the type of leaders that we have, I think we deserve better, as Mr. Kamara.
Bashir, you have a mindset issue. You have a mindset issue. You better change your mind. You better start thinking of us as human beings and what you are keeping are animals. How can you prefer animals to human beings? And you're busy telling us we should understand you. What is it that we should understand about you? We are not animals. If we are monkeys that belong to this country. I want to tell you, we are very annoyed. If it meant they first give us arena, we do physique with you. This will be the best time.
For that matter, I'm going to take a break. Taking a break, but she will be right back.
Yeah. You see, before you
talk about Hotseat.
Welcome back to 933 KFM, and this is the Hotseat. Let me come straight to you, Bashir. and because we have to find a way. So, you know, these are people's representatives. What they are saying is actually not for them only, but also for the people whom they represent. And maybe before you respond, let me give a moment again to Honorable Gilbert Olanya. Just maybe, do you make sense of what Bashir is saying, and how can we find a middle ground?
Kamara,
what do you need to be done?
Kamara, Bashir does not know the impact, the effects of the close of Karuma onto the people of northern Uganda. Right now, prices of commodities have gone extremely high. Sugar, salt, the essential commodities, now prices are doubled. People are no longer moving. The bus owners who got loans, very many of them are parking their buses. The lorries are no longer moving. In fact, the economy of northern Uganda has gone down completely. I wish Basis knows. So please send your people to make the research in northern Uganda. Let them tell you the truth. Because if you keep on sitting in Kampala and you talk as a spokesperson, you don't know exactly what is there on the ground. Please make your assessment. Then you come up with an informed point of view.
I have just had a view here from somebody, from Amanda Ngavirano. She says, last Monday it took us about 11 hours for a trip from Jumani to Kampala through the park of Ulisa and Hoima. And she even adds, oh Lord. It was also scary to see broken vehicles in the park. Something has to be thought through out quickly and definitely. However, on a lighter note, Amanda says, it was good to see citizens enjoying the park through bus windows, a thing which they would have experienced much later due to what it takes. You know, there's some pain you're going through, but also you're enjoying this country that is gifted by nature.
You know, the truth of the matter, there are disadvantages and advantages. And
but look on the brighter side, Honorable Gilbert.
You know, there are other people who have never seen elephants from the north. So I think this is the best time. Let them see elephants. Let them pass by.
See the buffalo?
Exactly.
Joby.
So let them also experience. Let them experience the life of Liech and Joby. Let them know what it's called. Yes, and then finally, you know, this is our peak time. And then the Ondra people, they close Karuma at a very bad time. You know, from October to December, this is the time that business is booming across the country. So by close of this Karuma, it has bogged down. And all those who took loans, the small-scale business community, the large-scale ones, now all their businesses have gone down completely. And I don't know what the government will do. We really feel we shall try to table on the floor of Parliament. Let government comes in to support the business community, especially in northern Uganda. The bus owners, the taxis owners, the lorries owners, because their businesses have gone down. And URA is charging them very high in terms of taxes. So let government waive off taxes. Let government come up with some considerations. And then what we demand now from OA is to waive off all sorts of payment for all kinds of vehicles, both small vehicles and the other vehicles. So you know, the minister told us that if they are to waive off the payment for the small cars, it will be difficult to identify the tourist car with the people who are just passing by. We told the minister, use the national identity card. Let those who are passing, let them have the national identity card. It's very simple to identify a tourist and someone who is just passing by. So the minister should really be fair enough. And I am happy that the minister said they are meeting the president on Monday on this issue. I pray that the president should consider this very important issue. Let the park not be stopped. This is the peak time. Let buses move the all night. The game rangers are there to guide. Let them be deployed on the way to see the smooth.
In fact, they've been eating salary for nothing.
So now let me get to hear from Bashir, and you'll also be giving your concluding remark, Bashir, on the show.
Thank you very much, Patrick. One, it is wrong to assume that tourists are only foreigners. Even Ugandans are tourists, the tourist parks. So someone will present their national ID, is a Ugandan, when actually is a tourist. So tourists are not only foreigners. That's the clarification I wanted to make.
No, but that person will be passing. You know, they are different with those ones. The tourists, they move and they stop in the park. But for us, I'll be passing by.
Somebody is a householder, the other one is on the luxury. The luxury. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go right ahead, Bashir.
May you kindly allow me to proceed? Thank you.
Yeah.
The other issue is that as the animals get chased away, now they start going into communities. And then we have issues of human-wildlife conflict. Animals going into people's, going into communities and wreaking havoc, destroying people's crops, killing people in the communities. The other issue is that the law requires us to limit 20% of gate collections to communities. It means that if you are waiving fees, therefore the communities surrounding National Park will definitely have very little money, if any, in terms of revenue share that goes to the communities, and this is money that goes to community liable projects. And some of the members of parliament know, and the district leaders, of course, their persons, they are all aware. Also, we are mandated to do 2%, use 2% of our revenue collections to do compensation for crops, damages, injuries, deaths. It means that all these interventions will be affected. Now, what does it mean? Will the communities understand that during this period, this UA did not make money, or the argument will be that UA is not giving communities their money? Or will someone who has lost their crops, or who has been injured, will say that I was injured around this time, and at that time you were not making, the park was not making money, and therefore I shouldn't be compensated? That's not going to be possible.
All right.
About the issue of human wildlife conflict, because one of the let me finish this my submission. Let's be one of the members. Now, and then the issue of human wildlife conflict, when animals will start running away from these vehicles and they slide deeper and they end up going outside their habitat to communities, how are we going to manage all this? Lastly, the fact is that there is a route where nobody is supposed to pay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Bashir Hangi, thank you so much. So we're going to do our concluding remarks. Robert, what's going to be your concluding remarks?
We want to appreciate UNRWA for the ferry, the extra ferry, but it's not enough. The members that represent, especially the operators on the northern route, are requesting UNRWA for an alternate ferry on Mutunda landing site to Atura landing site.
Which district is that now?
That is
Kiriadongo.
Kiriandongo.
Yeah, between Kiriadongo to Yam.
Okay.
Crossing
to Gulu.
It's 9 kilometers from Kona Tapara on the Lira Kamdin Highway. We're requesting for a ferry there. I wouldn't want to forget that. But it's quite perturbing, Kamara, that our businesses, our lives, health-wise and whatever it is, are being the animals are being prioritized.
I'm wondering how government forgot to put a bridge on the Karuma power dam, on Karuma Dam, because that should have been another strategic road to be put there. But thank you, Robert. And Gilbert, what's going to be your parting shot?
Thank you so much, Kamara. I am praying that the government should listen to our cry. Failure to do this, I'm telling you, people of northern Uganda, the economy shall go down and down. I pray that government should take this matter very seriously. Let us waive off all kind of payment, and we get the best way of helping and subsidizing our business community from northern Uganda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Rose.
Thank you, Kamara. Thank you. Actually, I don't have any apologies to anybody over what I've said. 1, 2, I'm wondering what has happened to my brother, Bashir, who says the communities will be saying we are holding their money. First, before anything, you should have had a meeting, UA, UNRWA, and the Ministry of Works. And then you go on radio, you educate people. That is your responsibility as communications officer. And you're preferring a very small community to the lives of our people. 3, you are supposed to electric fence all the national parks. I've told you without any mincing of my words, you people are stealing money. Instead of using this money to to buy electric fences. Yes, we got this report from Park on the floor of Parliament. It's a public document. So stop stealing Uganda's money. Use that money to fence the national parks. This excuse of saying the animals will go deeper and go to people's homes. The animals have not been going. And is it because people are passing here? Open these gates or we shall open it for you. Thank you.
Honorable Rose Obiga, woman member of Parliament for Terego District, thank you so much. Mr. Robert Mutebi, Secretary General, Uganda Bus Owners Association, thank you. Honorable Gilbert Ulanya, Kilak South, Member of Parliament, I thank you. And Bashir Hangi, who joined us online, Communications Manager, Uganda Wildlife Authority, I thank you, all of you. But most of all, you, the listener, I want to thank you for the privilege of your company. Good night and God bless Uganda.